Milford Finance Committee meeting, June 12th, 2019. First item on the agenda, the approval of the April 24th, 19 minutes.
Move.
Motion by Aldo,
Second.
second by Mike Nicholson. Any other discussion about the minutes? All those in favor for accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next item, I'm gonna jump Brownie up, just so you can at least have one drink before the puck drops.
Before the what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have until June 30th to go over the 33B transfers. Each of you have them in front of you. They were also emailed to us by Mr. Abundanza, and they're up on the drive as well. So I know everyone's had time to look over these. As usual, because of the good work of our department heads, there aren't usually a lot of 33B transfers, so this year we only have 4. So with that being
If-
said, I didn't know if
if-
anyone had any questions.
If this is what we're expected to do, I would say motion we approve as presented. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Motion by Jerry, second by Aldo to accept the 33B transfers as presented.
By the way, you don't get any overtime for showing up here either.
Ron, did I tell you it was gonna be quick?
Do I even have to say anything?
No,
Well,
thank you.
But thank you very much. I
Just
appreciate
a point of clarification, yeah, before we vote.
Yeah.
Do we have the authority to move this money?
Yes.
Yes, due to chapter 44, section 33B,
Yeah,
that allows us to, in the last 2 months, in the first 15 days of the new fiscal year, allow us to transfer funds within line items and within departments that one line may be in a deficiency, if another one has access, we can move between line items and
and
departments.
the finance committee has the authorization to do it?
The finance committee has the
Finance
responsibility.
And
That's the,
selectmen.
It's our responsibility to pass approval on this,
Yes.
according to the
Per
statute.
chapter 44, section 33B.
I thought that had to be the executive committee.
No, it's here.
So it's only the last 8 weeks,
It's the,
last 2 months?
in the first 15 days of the new fiscal year,
I didn't know about that.
within that timeframe.
This has been changed for like 5 years or more.
I believe they do it too.
But we haven't used it very much.
And the statute specifically states that finance.
Yeah, Bobby, I think the selectmen and the FinCom have to deal with it.
No,
Just
the
FinCom?
just the FinCom.
In this particular case, you're getting mixed up with the article that we had for last town meeting with the transfers. That needs
Okay.
selectmen and finance. When, in this particular case, chapter 33B just has this.
Just the
governing body.
FinCom, okay.
And why did the others have to be brought to town meeting?
Because that's transfers that we know about, that are prior to this 2-month and 15-day restriction. Because we go to town meeting in May, which is 2 months before, we're aware of what needs to be transferred, but now all of a sudden, when we come within this time frame, it's this governing body and not anyone else.
Is there a dollar limit on that?
No,
No.
no.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Huh?
Makes sense.
Yeah,
It
no, it
makes a lot
does.
of sense. I'm not, no.
But the point is, we gotta have a clean slate by 6:30.
That's right.
You don't want to debate the $1 transfer?
Well, we have to.
I
blame
thought
our
you were
town
gonna bring
treasurer.
that up, Al.
He miscalculated our long-term debt by 25 cents, so. But anything, a dollar, anything needs to come to here, regardless of the amount, so.
Now that's foolish.
Any other discussion? Way to draw it out. Thanks, Brownie.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Oh, I apologize, we didn't vote. Thank
We
you.
should have a
Mike.
vote.
So I had a motion by Jerry, second by Aldo. All those in favor for accepting the 33B transfers as presented? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Now
listen,
you can go, Brownie.
Everybody have a nice summer.
Yeah, you
You
too,
too,
buddy.
Tommy. Thank
See you
you.
around
Thanks,
town.
Tom, did a good job.
Thank you very much.
That's under 74B.
Next item on the agenda, I was gonna take a little bit more time on this if the person was here, but they're not here. So I'm gonna get him next time. Unfortunately, we did receive some correspondence from a member of our committee, Mr. Schiavi, and he obviously CC'd Chairman Buckley. In this letter, he intends to resign as of June 30th, 2019 from the Finance Committee. Obviously, he thanks everybody for their service. When Mike's in here and he said he would come in because he is away now, I'll tell him how I really think about it, what I really think about him, because I said to him in my email today that it's something I wanted to say in person. People like Mike come along very seldomly. His work ethic, his dedication to this town, and how hard he worked
True, I agree, yeah.
It's,
Totally agree.
so, like I said, I'm gonna save the words, it's gonna shorten the meeting even more. But I had a lot I wanted to say about Mike, because he deserved every word of it. And when he comes in September, we are gonna make him sit over there, though, he's not sitting with us. We'll give him the praise at that time, so. Anyway, Mike, we've been thinking about you, hope you have a good vacation.
He's on the Outer Banks, of course he is.
Next item on the agenda, town meeting recap. I just wanted to give a quick 2 minutes on what happened at town meeting, in case anyone's not aware. We have, usually town meeting usually goes 100% of the way we think it's gonna go. A little bit of variation on this town meeting. It was about 95% of what we wanted. A group of concerned citizens and the chief brought forward pulling a line item from the police budget in the amount of $185,000, which is the police chief's salary. That a couple of us tried to battle to save the budget. That fell short by 1 vote, so unfortunately our Article 4 did not get passed as we approved it. I spoke a little passionately there, and I'm not going to do it again. I strongly, strongly believe that this activity it sets a huge bad precedent for town meeting, saying now that we are going to, if we don't like your policy, we're not going to not just vote for you, but we are going to mess with your budget. So I don't want to prolong it because it's not my point, but I think what happened there was not a good situation. I hope to never see it again.
Point of clarification, they did not pull out the chief's salary.
Oh, actually, very
Okay,
good point.
because
Thank you
the
very
vote
much.
was rather comical. Because they pulled out a number equivalent to the chief's salary.
Correct.
Yeah, this
Then-
chief's salary is not broken out.
That's,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
They are not
that-
voting on taking out an individual. So right now, a department that's 94% salary, they took out $100,000, which was the same as what we pay the chief.
yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. We're going to have a chief.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a silly vote because it meant nothing. All it means is we'll vote on it again either the fall or next spring to put some money back to make up for it, because there'll be no choice. You got to pay the guy who you're going to hire.
Chris,
So I don't want, oh, sorry, Jerry.
you need to be careful. It does mean something. It's very significant when people get so upset that they start pulling line items. So it's very important that we heed the warning. Okay, but for us to sit here and say it means nothing, it does mean something. It means that somebody's listening to what's going on and they're willing to take action. As I've always said on many occasions, I hear people, the union contract is settled, the union contract is settled. The union contract is not settled and ratified until it's approved on town meeting.
Yeah.
Anybody can stand up and say no and pull that contract, and that negotiation has to start all over again. This is another example of that. So let's just be mindful.
Well, Jerry, and I agree with you. The point was, it wasn't that, and I do not want to continue this because it's an opinion thing, and I don't want my opinion to come out too much. The only argument was, it wasn't that the police department is overfunded. That wasn't what the argument
No,
was.
but
If the argument is ever that, I can see that. And to me, we are never, or the selectmen shouldn't tell town meeting what the budget should be. The town meeting tells us what it should be. We just recommend. I just didn't like that, it was not that the police department is overfunded. It's because A doesn't like B, who doesn't like C.
Yeah,
And that was my only issue with the whole situation. And once again, if anyone thinks the police department has too much money, I'll listen to you. Tell me.
It has nothing to do with the money. It's just that.
I know, Jerry, but
And I don't disagree. It's easily rectified.
Yeah, Jerry, I took longer and said more than what I wanted to say, because I shouldn't be using this as a pulpit for my opinion. I just wanted everyone to know, and just let them know that I think it's a bad precedent that we should try to avoid, so. Bobby?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Opinions, this is the wrong forum.
Yep.
And this is the wrong place for that. But I think, in my estimation, not opinion, I think there were 2 points that were made, and that was, if we hire, quote-unquote, an administrator as an interim, I don't think we have a job position in the town defined as an administrator, which is fine if we want to appoint one. So I think we need to take, and I believe it would be the Personnel Board, is what should that salary be? If in fact, an administrator cannot, by statute, perform all of the activities of a police chief, and we have what they call a strong police.
Strong.
one. So that
Oh, no,
requires
yeah.
some looking into. And I think there's a good point that was made, is that if we hire someone, should that person come in at the same salary as an individual that's had 20 years' experience? So I think those are good points, and that's all I'm gonna
And the
say.
money would have dropped to the bottom line
Well,
if,
we
but
know
it
that.
was the personnel
We know
board
that.
who has
We
that.
know that.
Yeah, I know, no, good point. All right, next item, we did the finance director transfers. Elections, with that, I am going to stand down from chairmanship of the committee and turn over powers to Aldo and Joycey to conduct elections.
Joyce is gonna abstain,
Yes.
okay, and she's gonna recuse herself from the function today. And in a few minutes, you'll understand why. What I have is I'm gonna present you with a nomination list, and I'll start with the chairman. We all know what the chairman's duties are, and we know we only vote for one. I'm prepared to nominate Chris Moran as the chairman of the Finance Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second it. sure.
Okay, Mr. DeVita seconded that. Do I have any other nominations? Since there are no nominations, I will vote, no additional ones, I will cast one vote for Mr. Moran to retain his position as chairman of this committee. And for vice chairman, I'm prepared to nominate Mr. Alberto Correa.
I'll second that.
It's been seconded by that. Do I have any additional nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations, and I will cast one vote for Mr. Correa. Executive Committee, which you know has 3 members, and you know they function during the summer as the smaller version of the Finance Committee. They are empowered to do things that need to be done on the spot. Some of them will come back in the fall for a formal vote of the committee. So after we do the nominations, I'm going to make a presentation on that. So I'm prepared to nominate 3 people at this point in time. Joyce Levine, Bob DeVita, and Mike Nicholson. Do I hear any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations and cast one vote for Joyce Levine, one for Bob DeVita, and one for Mike Nicholson. That's the new slate for next year. I'll give this to the recording secretary.
AKA the
All
boss.
right. Now, what I'd like to do is, I will make a motion that the executive committee have the powers to conduct the business of this committee during the summer months. Is there a second on that? Second?
Who was the second?
Any discussion?
Jerry.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous. That concludes my nominations, sir.
Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate
What's
the one vote
wording
in
of that
confidence I got
meeting?
from Aldo. Nothing's gonna change next year,
Function on
guys. I
behalf
lean
of
on you
this,
guys so much and all the great work that you
Finance
do,
Committee
so
during the summer
there's certainly nothing to talk about
Sorry?
with
function.
changes. One thing I do wanna say is I did hand out to everybody as well as it's up on the
Function as a-
drive. I did alter some
Conduct the
subcommittee
business
assignments for next year.
Of
Since
Finance
Andy
Committee.
is being moved up from a
During
neophyte very soon, we'll give him more input in committees. Also, you'll notice there's a
From
gray
July
block
1
on
through
there.
September,
I'm not
through
100%
September.
sure how the selectmen are gonna handle that, whether Brant's gonna take the open spot, or you guys are gonna reappoint a new committee member for Mr. Schiavi. Okay, because I know Brant is already for Phil. Okay, so that's why I did what I did, is I left a gray blank spot there. So whether it is Brant who was supposed to take Phil's spot, or another appointee is made, I'm planning on putting them on those committees. As you'll see, as all of you guys came on, if you were after me, those are all the committees I served on to start with, and usually they're good neophyte subcommittees. So with that being said, go Bees. Are there any other business that has to go on tonight? We'll be in touch with the executive board and see if there is gonna be summer stuff. I know I am usually a pest, and I usually do drag you guys in here at least once, so apologize in advance. I have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Aldo, second by Joycey. All those in favor for adjournment?
Yo.
Thank you. Thanks and have a great night, guys.